Hello, friends, and welcome back to r/ProRevenge. Let's start our video with an interesting situation at work where our OP was tried to be framed. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. You're salaried, right? Just stay up for this meeting. Before we begin, dear readers, a brief bit of backstory. I found that every company has a Todd. You'll know who your Todd is because he's who you call when you don't know who to call. When the unthinkable happens and everything's on fire and there's no hope of salvation, Todd steps in to fix it. Todd spends his entire time just fixing the unfixable. He's been with the company since the dawn of time, knows the true names of several demons, and was in the room when the old magic was written. Our Todd has an elite team to be on call when stuff breaks. Each team member is the highest authority in the company for one specific thing or another. They are the elite. Their word is law, and to question them is to question Todd. Our story begins shortly after I'd accomplished greatest goal and became the newest member of Todd's team. Now my company works with point of sale. We sell computers, software, printers, card readers, and pretty much anything you need to take money from someone else. After years working in the call center, I proved myself worthy of Todd's attention. I interviewed, tested, and became the specialist of third-party integration. My focus is the connection between our product and whatever weird stuff your company wants to use. Examples of this include getting smart lights to change on command from ordering kiosks, letting the staff control the new jukebox you bought with their employee ID cards, or getting the sales data for the day to report to your Canadian counterparts in both French and English, but only if someone buys the Poutine Sora surprise that day, and other fun conundrums that only the client can fathom. It's important to note that during my time in the call center, I was paid hourly. As a specialist, I'd be made a salaried employee and would be on call. After accepting the position, I was told I'd have a trial period of 1 month to prove myself. I would remain hourly, but would have a pay increase to more closely match my expected rate as a salaried employee. I would have the title change and new responsibilities of my job, but I had this month to prove I was worth the extra dinero. The first day of my new job, we get a call from one of the more needy clients. They lay out a series of demands. All their stores must be upgraded to Windows 10. As each store makes about $10K a day, taking them down for a remodel is not acceptable. All of these upgrades must be done overnight while the store is closed. If the upgrade fails, the store must be rolled back that night so they can open hourly. The window of time to do one of these upgrades is 8 hours. The fastest they've been able to do one is 10 hours. All this means one thing. They need a specialist to do the upgrades, one that knows their integration. I give Todd the "put me in, coach" nod, and the deal is struck. Todd's about to leave on vacation, which leaves me under the control of Steve, the director of the support center, who used to be my boss before I worked for Todd. I'm now on overnights. 4 nights a week, I upgrade these stores. I supervise 2 to 3 technicians who are on site in separate stores. I do all the software, they do the hardware. The process is staggered based on time zones, so I generally am pulling 12-hour shifts. The OT is amazing, especially paired with the raise I got. Fast forward a week or two. The initial batch does not go the best. I have a 40% failure rate. This is due to scripts provided to both the client and me by various third-party companies used by the stores, including their music, food delivery, and credit card processors. Everyone on their side knows who the bad guy is here. Talks are in place, and we're moving forward. A meeting between the client and us is scheduled near the end of the week, right in the middle of my off time. As I said, I'm working 12-hour days. I live a full hour from work, and for security reasons, can't do these upgrades outside the office. I have 10 hours to eat, sleep, get up, and eat again before work. Once I get to work, there are no breaks on the upgrade train, no lunch, no stopping, so I get home around 11 a.m. each day. The meeting's set for 4 p.m. I can't get any reasonable sleep before the meeting or after. Steve demands that I be there to account for my failures. I already have another specialist designed as my proxy for these sort of meetings, because sleep is a thing. I also explained that I'm still hourly, but he won't hear it. He insists that I need to be there to explain why the project is going so poorly, and that my explanation better not just be throwing other people under the bus. He tries to explain that I'm salaried and therefore need to be there when the company needs me, especially when I'm the one who's screwing up. Again, I try to remind him of my probationary period, but he won't listen. And there, my friends, begins the malicious compliance. I clock in at 10 p.m. the day before the meeting. I do my upgrades, all 3 of which are successes, due to what I assume is a change in the third-party back end. The scripts I'm provided with work perfectly this time and all goes well. The corporate contact I report to in the morning tells me the meeting is just to go over the new changes to procedure we went through that night, and I'll get the cliff notes in my email. No need to attend the meeting. I thank them and sign out. Then I sit. For 6 hours, I twiddle my thumbs, take a lunch break and a car nap, and wait for the meeting. When it's time, I walk upstairs to the top floor in the conference room, where everybody but Steve is shocked to see me. I calmly take my place and wait for the meeting to start, stating that I was asked to be here. The meeting lasts 30 minutes and consists of the new procedure, praise for my diligence, and quick overview of how the timetable will change because of the past failures. It's noted that my performance has prevented a lot of sites from failing when they would have otherwise, and the client is pleased with my work. Steve, who had previously blamed me for the failures, sheepishly agrees that I was a good fit for the project. Then the meeting ends with the best part. The person giving the talk states that she knows I'm asleep right now, so she'll go over the changes with me personally when I get in tonight. Meanwhile, the guy I asked to sit in on the meeting for me will work with them to set up the changes to be deployed. About 3 hours worth of work, so that it's all ready when I get in at 10. The meeting ends, Steve makes a comment about the changes being done by someone with more experience, and hints that it should be my responsibility. I cheerfully say that rather than waste my coworkers' time, I'll just do the changes myself. I have my 3rd and 4th win by now and am ready to go. At the end of day 2, I've spent 36 hours at work. Caffeine is my only salvation, and we're almost done. Near the end, I'm basically waiting for a technician at my last store to do finish testing, so I tell him to call me and shut my eyes for about half an hour, just to rest a bit. All is well. I get called, everything's green, the vigil is over. 2 of my friends insist on driving me home, where I promptly pass out into the most heavenly sleep I've had in ages. I wake up to an email asking me to head into work for a meeting with HR. It's my day off, so I'm kind of perplexed. I head on in and apologize for being fashionably late. The meeting's with the head of HR, who has a report that I was sleeping on the job. There's camera footage of my 30-minute power nap. I calmly explained that Steve had asked me to show up to the meeting and then asked me to stay later to set up the changes, and by the time I took my nap, during what I called my paid 30-minute break, I had been in the building for 35 hours. I politely remind the HR head that I'm on my trial period and will be expecting overtime pay for that time. It came out to about 33 hours and change due to my extended lunch break. Todd returned from his vacation and tore Steve a new definition of duties. From then on, he would not be given control over Todd's team when he was away, and we would report directly to the CEO. The project completed without much incident, and I passed my probation period with flying colors. Edit. Steve would later be fired several months later due to a similar situation where he threw someone so hard under the bus that everyone stopped and saw how uncool that was. He was replaced with new Steve, who's a superior Steve in every way. So someone reported you to HR and had camera footage of you during your power nap within 24 hours of it happening? Sounds like someone put a bullseye on your back after that meeting. And our last story. I got my ex-girlfriend excluded from the work environment because she badmouthed me. For clarification, I was 20 when this happened, and I'm also a male who treats everyone the best I can. When I started my first job while studying for a degree, I met this woman who is a B-word. We started to hit into each other and everything went well. She had an abusive boyfriend, and then they broke up, so we started dating. That dating time was like 1 day, LOL. We finished the training phase, and we started working attention calls for a crappy internet company. The work was stressful to a Mexican sales support because customers and reps treated us like crap. Enough background. Let's jump into the story. After we broke up for some stupid reason she made up, I forgot why, she started to say that I was abusive, even that I forced myself into her. The thing is that people and me started to get all annoyed at her behavior because everyone knew how nice I was with the customers, managers, and other people in my work environment. Well, she continued to throw crap at me, so we all decided to record the conversations and messages trying to destroy my reputation. We ended up gathering like 100 messages and even got her recorded being the good person she was against me. After a few weeks of gathering info, I went to HR to give my evidence against her because the rumors spread even to HR and they were trying to fire me. I delivered the information, and one by one, my coworkers started being called to give their statements. It took like 1 hour until every single one of my coworkers were called in. She got called, I got a big apology from HR for being targeted in a hostile environment, and she was fired right away. The thing is, she also needed the money for school, and HR would not give her a recommendation letter from the company. She dropped out of school and is now working at a supermarket that, even if it's a lot of miles from where I usually bought my stuff, I still use it as my location to buy groceries, and I win at the same hour she works at the same register. I just smile and say, "How's school?" and then leave. It's not that great of a revenge story, but thank God people backed me up in the revenge. B, if you're reading this, see you on Sunday at the supermarket. Edit. I forgot to say the thing of the supermarket was like 1 week after everything happened. Just for you to know, I did the D move just one time, and then I liked the place for its amount of variety in groceries. The fact that I go at the same hours just a coincidence. That was great revenge. She deserved it. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.